What are you doing, Muppet? Hmm? Realize that this isn't on the front of the headset. And where are my controllers? Right there. Shoot. Alright, let's close that. I don't know why, upon me first trying to connect to Steam VR, it puts me like 6 feet up in the air. Well, it puts me 6 feet higher than I should be. And I don't know why it does that. Take 2. On second startup, it puts me down low, so I don't know. Something weird is going on with that. Yeah, and now I'm fine. Huh. I don't know. Ooh, Steam VR also had an update. How do... Oh, shoot. They changed that around a little bit. Let's do left eye. And back to the sim. Alright. Let's go VR. Ooh, why does everything look slow as hell? Holy crap. Hold on one moment, guys. Apparently, something with Steam VR is acting a bit odd.
Gatorade.
Dietrich, good morning. How are you doing today?
Gatorade. H2O.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
So really weird. Like, I'm watching the stream. The stream is nice and smooth, but the frame rate in my headset's like 5. Oh, Commander Keith. Usually it's Dietrich that plays the Gatorade thing. That's my bad, dude. I'm sorry. Usually it's Dietrich that does that, so it kind of threw me off. That's why I went automatically to Dietrich. Oh shit. Now I've got to watch out for both of you, because now only the 2 of you are now doing that. Why? Okay, give me a second. I'm trying to now figure out Virtual Desktop Streamer Quest. Off. Hold on. Oh, they did something weird here. Mom, thank you very much for the resub. Hope you're doing well this morning. The bot that reads that out takes it literally, so you gotta be careful. The green pony, right? Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to... Of course, before I go live, none of this stuff breaks. The moment I go live, nothing wants to work properly. Alright, so let's leave VR. Goes back on the game. Leave VR. What did you do, Steam? Shut down Steam again. Right? It's like, and the part that's frustrating is that I tested all this stuff before I went live, and it only breaks after I go live. It's like, come on. All right. Maybe third time's the charm. Let's try this. Nope. Okay, so something's wrong now. Damn it. Shoot. And Mom, thank you very much for the gift sub as well. Is it Killer Squirrel? You now have emotes whether you want them or not. Thank you very much for that gift sub, Mom. Okay, so I'm now wondering if I broke something here. This new little program that I guess is supposed to connect it for Quest didn't need that prior. Or is it going to work? Nope. I guess it needs that to run. Shoot. Okay, so I guess because it's using this new thing, we're going to set the MetaQuest link as default. Maybe it needs that now. Okay, shut down the MetaQuest thing. Oh my god. I apologize, guys, for again streams not wanting to work again. Or, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the stream. It's just my VR is hard to stream. Maybe that should be my excuse, because it's true. Nothing wants to work properly. Are you going to work this time? Yes, no, maybe. Your headset session does not match your host's Steam VR session. Please restart the app. What? Well, I have a feeling if I do this... Yep, of course. It shuts the flight sim down. God. Mom, take care. Again, thank you very much for the sub and the gift sub. I'll talk to you later. Alright, let's see. I need to... What is... So I'm now having to restart Steam. Reposition Windows. Might as well get that. I guess let's try to get Steam running first. If it does it one more time, I'm going to have to reset the headset. Because that's the only other thing that I haven't reset this morning. Computer's been rebooted. Steam has been rebooted twice now. Trying to... There. And again, I'm 12 feet off the frickin' ground. That's really weird. It's back to the old style. Okay, quit again. We're just going to be fighting with this all day, I guess. That's going to be in the entire stream. Is just me asking, please work, computer. I mean, it makes sense. I did just reboot Steam, so whatever puts you really high off the ground is probably all messed up. Alright, Flight Sim, play. Oh, it restarted Rutony 2. Damn it. That's why I lost my chat. Alright, relaunch Rutony. I apologize. Nobody said anything on YouTube. Reposition Windows. Okay. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Okay. Now, hopefully, as I do this, it'll work. All right, there we go. Free flight. All right, what was our last airport we landed at? That was Echo Tango November Juliet, ETNJ. That was in Germany. However, today, a lot of today, we are flying through both Germany and the Netherlands. So, bear with me one moment. Getting music set up. Open Bush Talk Radio. All right, we got that set up. That is, hold on. ETNJ. Is that where we landed? Because my map is saying that's a huge... It's right on the water. Oh no, that's marshland. And no, I went to the wrong place. Okay. No, we ended at EDWI. Echo Delta Whiskey, India. That's better. Yeah, we were like right on the water. I was like, no. That's not it. All right. Yeah, we weren't at a big airport. Huh, couple airplanes on the ground here. That's cool. Fuel box. Set as departure. Start flight. Shoot. Is the game gonna load? There it goes. Is it just me, or have I lost all audio? Oh, never mind. There it is. That's what we were waiting on. What? Why does that go there? No. In real life, you would never store the helicopter like this. You would have one blade going straight out front. And that front blade goes to... And they don't have it. There's usually a little hook right here on the body that you hook it to. And then the side ones then go to this back area here, not right there. That's weird. I don't know whose model they decided to scan, but that's wrong. That is definitely wrong. Static port, pitot tube. Alright, function check. Back, forward, left, right pedal, up, down. Light switches, good. Rotor brake off, battery on. Instruments. Horn works. Alright. Let's get our... Actually, let's clear left, clear right. Let's get the aircraft started up while I do all of the weight and balance. So let's first off remove all the extra people. No, not 100%. 200 pounds. Cargo. We are not carrying any cargo. And we want a full tank of fuel. Cool. Next, let's get our route set up. Load from PC. Yep, still can't zoom out. Lights work. Time.
9:09.
Set altimeter. Alright, so I'm gonna have to leave VR and then go back in because I need to make headset resolution change. Because I was playing VR chat and we don't use as high a resolution in that as I do in this. So bump this up to about 150-ish. Okay. Sim. Alright. Rolling up. Watching on horn. Horn on. Okay. That's good to go. It is windy today. I'm getting airspeed even though we're sitting on the ground. Oh yeah, there's definitely some thermals today. that really as bright as it gets? Okay, that's up and running. I gotta get say intentions. Say intentions AI. That up and running. Radio check.
What the APC audio sounds like, and next what yours sounds like.
Radio check.
Radio volume 15. Sim volume 10. Sim volume 60. Volume 40. Alright, picking up. Actually, one more thing. Let's do that. Alright, picking up. Light on the skids. Pause music. Next track. Oh. Voice attack isn't going to work on the computer that I just restarted because I never turned it back on. Let's do that. And see if we can get the radio stuff working. That'd be nice, right? Volume 10. Volume 40. Pause music. One moment, now I've got to figure out why that's not working. Oh, there it is. All right. Volume 40. All right. So how are you all doing today? So we are currently in Germany right now. However, we are going to be crossing in and out of the Netherlands today. And then I think most of the current route is actually through the Netherlands. Pause music. Striker Wolf, good morning. How you doing today? There's that weird audio bug. Whenever you stress this aircraft G-force wise, it freaks out and decides to do that. Don't know why. Work sucks, of course. Pause music. I streamed a little bit on Monday, volume 10. I streamed a little bit on Monday, some of my M5S progression for the current Final Fantasy XIV Savage tier going on right now. However, like the last 5 days, I have been waking up in the middle of the night in cold sweats and then waking up in the morning just absolutely just overheating and drenched in my own sweat and just horrible headaches. I don't know what was going on. So just really haven't really felt like doing early morning streams just because I've just felt like absolute ass. It sucks. And again, my sleep pattern's all messed up again. I think I woke up at like 11 p.m. yesterday. The problem that I have today is I have an afternoon appointment where they're gonna numb my throat and go into my throat with the camera to check on stuff. See if they can figure out why I'm having heartburn so much. And this one I've got to be awake for. The last time they did this, they knocked me out. So I'm not looking forward to the appointment this afternoon. That being said, local weather is supposed to be getting up to about 80 Fahrenheit today. 80 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
27.
So it's supposed to be a little bit warm. And my RX-7, the air conditioner died early autumn, late summer of last year. And because of that, you know, I haven't had a reason to fix it until today, where I'm like, oh, it's going to be warm outside. So I did that this morning. I fixed my AC. It was about temperature coming out of the vent at 2000 RPM was like 44 Fahrenheit. It's great. 44 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
207.
44 Fahrenheit to Celsius. 44 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
7.
That's better. It is not 277. I think it heard something else. But yeah, 7 Celsius, so the air coming out is nice and cool. And it'll be more so once I'm actually moving. There's airflow going over the condenser and everything. And the car is turning more RPM, so... But it's working so well. The pressures are beautiful. Good low pressure, good high pressure. The pressures are balanced, because that's the entire way that an AC system works. The thermodynamics. It's that weird shit where if you have a can of compressed whatever and you let it leak out, as it expands, the stuff inside the can, like the can gets cold as hell, right? Well, we're trying to get that compressed thing to be on the vent on the inside of the car, and then there's a small nozzle that expands, and then that goes back to the front of the car. then well, as it goes through and it is cold, that cold absorbs the heat in the vehicle. It then goes to the nozzle, it expands, everything gets cold, all that cool stuff, literally. Then it gets pumped back out to the front of the car, goes through the dryer to make sure like it's not atomized anymore, and then it flows through the condenser to get rid of that extra heat. Then it goes back into the compressor to compress back up. I might have that out of order. I think it's condense, compress, then condenser, because the act of compressing it makes it hot again. So it has to get rid of that heat. That's what it is. That's what your fridge does. That's what a dehumidifier kind of does. Thermodynamics is weird. Volume 40. Oh, we have power blinds here. Again, in real life, you wouldn't be flying even level with these. You're still getting you're still getting vortices off the wingtips, and they'll throw you around, especially smaller aircraft like a helicopter. And again, because we are flying through the Netherlands today, that's the reason why I'm running a Netherlands playlist right now. At least on Twitch. Yeah, there's no point of interest around this area. Seeing many aircraft flying over right now, though. Got some animals down below. I wonder if there would be databases of farmland that is considered grazing land versus crops. If there was something like that, it'd be cool, and then only place the animals where they're supposed to be. Kind of industrial area here. See, I don't know what that is. I'm seeing a lot of pipes. Oh, I see more animals down here too. Actually, I see animals all over the place here. Well, it looks like cutting out this direction is actually helping when it comes to lining up for the next airfield. Other side of the trees, it looks like. I might need, at some point, to 3D print some new frictions on this collective. Because they're only about this big around, so they're a little bit hard to adjust. Alright, we're just gonna touch and go on this one. Boop. There's our touch and go. I don't think this airfield has this many trees on it though. Usually we try to clear as many of those out as possible. Want as little disturbance over the airfield as possible. The air is as smooth as possible. Oh, more animals. See, like, I see some there. See some over there, some there, some there. So yeah, they definitely increase the spawn rate of them, which is nice. Sim Update 2 is really good with that. Dr. K, sadly Striker Wolf got it a little while ago, so it'll be in a few more minutes before that is able to be used again. Hope you're doing well this afternoon for you. Time.
9:29.
Oh yeah, it's definitely afternoon for you. It's like 2 or 3. 3:30, okay. Low energy week, that's good. So like not having to run around putting out fires is always nice. So, I'm looking to our left, and there's just this row of clouds. There's probably a front going on. In fact, it's pretty much all behind me. How am I doing? I'm doing better. The last few days I've been really sick. Feeling a lot better. Oh, another thing too. my grandmother recently messaged me saying that the kittens will be ready in about 6 weeks. So, friends that she knows, their cat just had kittens. So, I'll be like one of the first ones to be able to choose some new kittens. So, month and a half from now. Alright, gonna do another touch and go here. Why am I slowing down so much?
Archer 295 Romeo Foxtrot exiting runway 12.
Boop. And let's speed up. Don't need to be going 100 knots, need to be going 140. There we go, 140. Wonder what this was. Is that bare dirt or... No, I think it's just a weirdly shaped field. Yeah. Thought it was like a paved area at first. Got a force feedback base. It's so fun to fly helicopters with it. Does Microsoft Flight Sim actually output force feedback? It's based on telemetry output, so it needs a good profile to run with. Awesome. Oh yeah, DCS is going to have excellent force feedback. But that's good to hear, dude. Which, if you don't mind me asking, which one did you get? I've been looking at several of them, but it's all iffy. Especially with the way prices and stuff are going to be now. Yeah, this area of, wait, where am I? Yeah, this area of Germany is extremely flat. Moza, software part leaves a lot to wish for. Is the volume 20? Is there a large community like that's building these up and modifying them, maybe even doing software updates or something? Because that would be the... You can get some smart people to develop some things. You can do some crazy shit. Not yet. Okay. Yeah, like the 4 Seaback 6 that are just out there, everything's just so new right now. Because they only really started doing that in the last year or so, right? Oh, shoot. Make Telem force me at work with Moza, that would be very cool, yeah. This is a little bit of a larger town. What am I flying over? Worthington? Probably completely mispronouncing that. That's a bunch of cars. Now I'm really curious about whatever this building is. Is this literally a control tower? No, whatever. No, this is literally just a tower in the middle. What? Or not. We're flying over the airfield right now, but what is this? This is like one of the tallest control towers I've ever seen in my life. I don't think this is a control tower. This is something else. It's a water tower. It's rendered wrong. You can see the thin shadow and then the bulb at the top. That's supposed to be a water tower, not a whatever that is. You can even see the image on the ground of the water tower. I don't think it's that tall though. That's a really tall... I don't know. Alright, let's touch down. We're about 85% fuel. It's a little bit frustrating to have the aircraft just appear like that. I said stop. Weird. Flight sim track is not working. Thank you for reminding me about that. Remember, too, you can find where I am on Bush Talk Radio as well. I am so sorry, Barry. Every time I do the computer reboot, I forget to boot it back up. Yeah, this area of the map does not have many point of interest. There's nothing for it to read yet. And hello, Cricket. How are you doing? Alright. They have all these power lines right there at the end of the runway, too. I mean, you can clear them and everything, but God, that's annoying. That'd be a constant worry for me. Especially if you operate at that airfield. Hope that the wind's coming in the other way. I'm going the wrong way. I'm glad I zoomed out. Our next one's this direction, not the other way. Alright. That's weird, I don't... I mean, I guess we did cross over these before. We'll re-intercept. It's about 15 Celsius outside right now. 15. Ted Stryker, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Hope you're doing well. Here it comes. Pause music.
Bonanza, November 6-4, Foxtrot Alpha 2, hold short of runway 30, traffic on final. Holding short of runway 30, November 6-4, Foxtrot Alpha 2.
Ted Stryker again, dude. Thank you very much for that. Next track. All I heard was chopper blades. I heard the alert. Why did that not play on the stream? Oh, shit. Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. What is going on? Time.
9:45.
Why is... I heard the alert. Why did that not go through the stream? Every other sound is. See, that's going... I am really confused. I don't know why it's not... I'm gonna try something here. I think that might only be running on the actual... Oh, the desktop audio was hidden. Let's see. OBS can't capture its own audio. Oh, this is annoying. Hold on. Delete that. Turn that on. The entire reason why I did this was to try to get it where it would not grab Discord audio from my Final Fantasy streams, and for some reason now it's not wanting to get anything.
Skylane 422, Alpha Mike traffic at your 2 o'clock, 1 mile Cessna Skyhawk on final. Traffic in sight, Skylane
Outputting
422,
voice reader
Alpha Mike.
auxiliary. You guys aren't hearing music at all, are you? Yeah, I'm really, really confused because I'm not... Oh, do you hear music now? Okay. All right, I think it's working now. Okay, now that we've gotten that, let's go back to the sim. Who would have guessed that the little slider, if the slider's all the way down, and even though it's unmuted, if the slider's all the way down, it's not going to make any sound. All right. If I can get... does Twitch allow that? I don't know if I have the thing to do that. I absolutely hate how Twitch only has these icons. I would really like to have a label on it so I know what each button does. Something that looks like a parachute. Like, if you look at Twitch and you have a parachute, what do you think a parachute is? That... Cancel, eject. No, it's raid the next channel. Like, that does me no good. Like, I have to hover over it for 3 seconds before it shows up. It's like, come on, give me, just show the damn words like you used to. Why did they even change that? No, Twitch doesn't have a way for me to... So here's the problem, okay? Twitch doesn't have a thing for me to re-push the alert. And the program that, or the service that I have is Streamlabs. And the problem now with Streamlabs is that for me to log on to their website to now change anything, they're asking for permissions they should never fucking have. Right? So I can't replay the thing because of that. If I make it... Okay, so if I make it larger, then it gets text. Yeah, I hate this thing nowadays where they try to boil everything down to icons, and it's like, no! Don't put icons, have some text. My damn email is like, oh, we're just gonna put a mail letter next to every folder that I have. And I'm like, well, what folder is this? You removed my damn labels from it. Like, there's a reason why I have all these damn folders, is because I have a whole bunch of rules that sort everything automatically. And it's like, stop doing that shit, people. Hopefully something happens in the future where at least cars get an actual volume knob at some point. Or buttons that aren't attached to a time screen. I hate touchscreen volume controls. This coming weekend, I might try to do some garage streams. Supposedly, I'm getting a few parts in. We'll see. If it's not this weekend, it'll be next weekend. But it's the final parts that I need to get the Miata fully up and running. I found out what my issue was. The pulley that goes on the front of the motor, it's supposed to get rid of vibrations and everything like that. The one that I have, the one that was supposedly good, is actually off-center. It shouldn't be off-center, and that's why it looked like it was vibrating, because it was. So, now that I have the new piece on order and on its way, I also bought a... oh wait, did the ad just start? Are you shitting me? I'm talking and the freaking ads are on. Next track. Oh, it's a body of water. I'm like, what is this line in front of me? Alright, doing a touch and go here. Volume 30. Little short runway. Boop. Alright, continuing on. Hello, Cricket. What you up to, buddy? Solar panels are really weird to fly over because just the way they reflect everything. You get that point where you can even reflect your own aircraft. It looks really weird from the sky. I wonder what caused that triangular landmass right there. Is it landfill maybe, and then they fill over it? I don't know if that's a common thing in Europe.
4 Foxtrot Alpha 2, enter right base runway 21. Right base runway 21 for Bonanza. November 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2.
Ostfriesland Stadion
Pause
is
music.
a multi-use stadium in Emden, Germany. It is currently used exclusively for football matches and has been the home stadium of Kickers Emden since 1950. The current name of the stadium was adopted in 2005 and comes from a local real estate and financial services firm under a
Cricket, what are you
sponsorship
doing?
agreement. Between 1998 and 2005, the venue was named after a former president of the club, Dr. Helmut Riedel, and prior to those years it was simply known as Kickers Stadion. The stadium is able to hold 12,000 people, which was the largest crowd during a third division match between Kickers Emden and Hamburger SV's reserve squad on the final day of the season, but for security reasons its current capacity for competitive matches is limited to 7,200. From the 2007 to 2008 season onwards, competitive matches can again be played in evening hours, using floodlighting. This had been forbidden in the previous 2 Regionalliga seasons because the floodlights were only able to produce 300 lux of light, at least 400 is required for clear television pictures. Thus,
That's
new
really
floodlights
dim.
were installed.
Alright, so we had a few point of interest here. The Leaning Tower of Sirhazen. We might fly over that ancient pyramid again. Somebody might be able to pull open the map and point out what it actually is. Alright, get some speed, please. I don't think this tower is rendered leaning, though. Oh, that's the stadium. Okay. It's a smaller league, I guess. Alright, I'm hoping this has some interesting, like, history behind it here. If it plays.
The Leaning Tower of Suerhusen is a late medieval steeple in Suerhusen, a village in the East Frisian region of northwestern Germany. According to the Guinness World Records, it was at one time the most tilted tower in the world, though the Capital Gate Tower in Abu Dhabi since claimed this record in 2010. The Suerhusen steeple remains the world's most leaning tower that is unintentionally tilted, beating the world-famous Leaning Tower of Pisa by 1.22. The brick Gothic church in Suerhusen is reminiscent of the old fortress churches.
Radio volume 5.
It was 32 meters long and 9.35 meters wide. In 1450 the church was shortened by about a quarter and the tower was built in the space. This tower currently leans at an angle of 5.19, compared with 3.97 for the Pisa Tower after its stabilization. According to local historian Jabo van Lessen, the church was built in the Middle Ages in marshy land on foundations of oak tree trunks which were preserved by groundwater. When the land was drained in the 19th century, the wood rotted, causing the tower to tilt. The steeple was closed to the public in 1975 for safety reasons, and reopened 10 years later after it was stabilized.
That was weird. I had a lot of stutters. Constant deluge. Yeah, we ended up. I think we left the UK. It's been a couple months now, I think. We kind of made our way through northern France, and we're in Germany right now, but we're going backwards into the Netherlands. So it'll probably be several months before we see the UK again when we go back through it to try to get Northern Ireland and Ireland. We will have to beeline through the UK again once we're done with that, though. So there'll still be a little bit of UK flight again. This is a lot of turbines here. Good place for them, though. Alright, this leg says it's about 28 nautical miles, so we're already pushing 140 knots. And we do kind of have a little bit of a tailwind today. That's good. And we are down to 80% fuel. Next track. Overall, yeah, doing much better than I have the last few days. Don't know if I had a stomach bug or what, but yeah, doing a lot better. I have a appointment this afternoon that I'm trying to make sure I stay awake for. I did get my air conditioning fixed on my RX-7 this morning, though. Was blowing air out at 7 Celsius. Slightly chilly in the car. And the good part is because the compressor's no longer broken, it doesn't squeal when you turn it on. The wind is coming in like that angle. So kind of behind us, but still pushing us to the left. Checking to see if there's any point of interest near me. I do not see anything on Bush Talk Radio. Volume 40. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's two on the same ship. That's where the concern is. First one sounds like somebody didn't lock down the wheels, and when an aircraft carrier makes a sharp turn, it banks the wrong way, and if they didn't have it secured on the deck, I can see that being an issue because it gets pretty damn angled. Having a second one though, somebody's, yeah, that captain probably going to be moved to desk job when he gets back. They'll probably change out the command structure or something. Something's going on. Those clouds are coming a little bit closer now. When I get to the next location, I'm actually going to pause and change the setting up to the highest, see if it does anything, and see if I still have okay frame rate. I don't believe that cloud density really affects the frame rate too bad. Shadows are like the big thing. I just wish this pop-in stuff was fixed, because that's annoying. Flying over a lot of area that's apparently a lot of marshland. According to a little nav map. Like everything I'm flying over now. The guy in the seat had to jump off before they went over. Volume 10. So from what I heard on the first incident, they had some boat that was getting close enough so the aircraft carrier made an evasive maneuver. When the first one happened, it was a boat and a tug. So that's telling me that they were moving the aircraft around on deck, and usually there's somebody sitting in the seat for that. And yeah, if it got to the point where that angle and the brakes weren't set properly or something and it started rolling off, I can see that happening. But again, there might be some more news coming out about it. I mean, there's not going to be a huge disclosure, but I'm pretty sure some information will come out. There's usually, because again, the Navy, because they're moving all that stuff around on the deck of the ships, they're operating under really confined locations. Usually the wings on the F-18s are all folded up, and they've got those aircraft set where when it's under pilot control, the front wheel can like turn almost 90 degrees to make a turn and stuff like that. So otherwise, they're essentially threading needles constantly when they're pushing them around with tugs. mean, there's only so much that wheel chocks can do. When you have a multi-ton aircraft on a bank that aircraft shouldn't be on, yeah, unless the brakes are set and the thing's, like, strapped down to the deck, there's going to be an issue. I'm getting a lot of audio stuttering. Freaking weird. In fact, here, honey, I'm gonna do something here real quick. Let me... Shoot, God, I hate this damn cough. All right. I've had the engine sounds die on me more today than I have in the last month. I don't know, like, as far as I'm aware, hasn't been an update. Yeah, let me check something here. I'll enter. No, we're still on 1418. That's really odd. Have you ever seen a video of an aircraft carrier during, like, test trials of how sharp they can turn? When it does that, like, it happens quick. So, like, I don't know, like, they might have been people swarming the deck and, what is it called? They might not have enough time to chain it down, or possibly a chain broke. Okay, so I'm actually going to throttle down. Horn off. I'm gonna go check my router and make sure that I didn't bump the antennas on it. It's got a bad signal or something. Really careful with the cyclic here. At some point, I really need to redo my internet wires or something. In the back room, they're just kind of all over the place. Do I have opportunities to fly helicopters IRL? I try to whenever I can. The big thing with IRL flying is when it's out of your pocket, it takes a lot longer to do. Try at least to get my yearly refresher in, so I am able to stay continuing to fly. I mean, I could sit there and not fly for years and then take a refresher and be good, but try to stay current. Yeah, I'm still having these little micro stutters. Ooh, I'm wondering if that's something because I switched to the Meta OpenXR runtime. I wonder if that's what happened. Sim volume 70. Alright, rolling up. Horn on. Slightly curious how a glider is moving underneath its own power, but okay. Alright, let's get out of here. A lot of solar panels at this airfield. Next track, volume 40. Oh, you know what? I told you I was gonna change a setting, and then I forgot to change a setting. Turn that off. Let's try to bump that up a few points. 120. Let's see. Volume 30. Volumetric clouds, ultra. Hopefully that works better. I would like to have better shadows. Let's see if that... Let's see. How do I know about this song? It's a Dutch song. Well, I'm about to fly through the Netherlands, so I chose a Netherlands playlist on Spotify. I'm trying to play music that is of the local area. I know I'm in Germany right now, but I'm about to cross into... Actually, no, I'm in the Netherlands right now. My route took me from Germany into the Netherlands, and we're flying like 90% in the Netherlands today. So, yeah. I don't know, I'll try that. Contact shadows. Alright. Yeah, I have no idea what the song is, what they're singing about. I'm just jamming out the local music as well. The funny thing is that, because it is my Spotify account, when I get in my car later today, it'll just continue the playlist I was last on, so I'll be blasting Dutch music. Johab Frostbrug, that's from A Bridge Too Far? Okay. I'm guessing that's a movie? I'm probably mispronouncing all that. Alright, this leg is about 16 miles. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. Real quick check. Dropping my controllers. Alright, we're now at the point where we've essentially got a straight crosswind from the right to left. A lot of cattle there. Rug is bridge? Okay. Clouds look decently good. Alright, we're maintaining 60 knots. And we're just going to climb for a little bit. Put as much power as I can. Oh, nice. As we climb, the wind direction changes by about 90 degrees, and we're getting a nice little tailwind. Currently passing through 6,500. Looks like the airport's right there. Alright. And now speed. Sitting at about 7,600-ish. .168 knot ground speed right now. 175. Get all the airspeed. Yep, 177. Pause music. All right, so simulated, or no, we're not doing simulated. Engine off in 3, 2, 1. Engine is now off. We have no engine. We are gliding. Get that rotor RPM up. Turn the fuel pump off. All right, rotor speed is currently a little bit on the high side. We want to be inside that big green arc. I'm sorry, not the green arc, the inner green arc. Yellow is the warning of too high, too low. But yeah, the engine is completely off right now. We're getting no engine power whatsoever. A lot of the sound you hear from the helicopter is literally just the blade slapping the air. Radio volume 0. Ah, dang, we did hit too hard. Shit! Would have survived, would have broken the landing gear, but damn it. Do this again. There we go. Still had enough rotor speed to go back up. Usually that doesn't happen. I was trying to get on this circle here. Turn the horn off. Thank you. Simply because I was trying to show how I would rather much be in a helicopter with no engine than an airplane with no engine. With an airplane, you have to have a clear line. With a helicopter, you can come down and pick exactly what spot you want to land on. All right, engine back on. Get the engine actually started. Rotor is still slowing down. Probably need to turn the fuel pump back on. And my anti-collision lights, please. There we go. I still think the one issue that they need to work on to make the helicopter even more realistic would be to figure out why the rotor in an auto rotation isn't working as expected. What should be happening is when you lower the collective, you get rotor RPM relatively quick from the air passing through it. And I can put the collective all down to the ground and nothing happens, and it should not do that. It should. So that's what kind of messed me up there. As I came in, I started to flare. When you flare, you trade airspeed for rotor RPM, and I was trying to get my rotor RPM back, and when I did that, I didn't get any. So by the time I set down, when I tried to pull collective and cushion the landing, there was no RPM to cushion, and that's why we hit too hard. Kind of sucks, but probably did that in DCS, it'd work fine, because DCS, they actually simulate that. Alright, picking back up. That's a quick way down, at least. Let's get out of here. Next track, radio volume 20.
450 wind 025 at 13. Cab okay. Temperature 16. Dew point 1. QNH 1016. Density altitude 400 feet. Transition level 55.
It is about 5:30 in the afternoon where we're flying right now, so it is starting to get a little bit, sun is going down. We are getting a little bit of thicker clouds here too. Time?
10:33.
Okay. My appointment is at like, actually when is my appointment? Hold on. Where is my phone? There's my phone. Why did the view switch over like that? Ah, frack, what did I just drop? Oh, my fan. Alright. Alright, appointment is at 2:30. The problem with today is just simply is how hot it's supposed to get. Talking about hot, why is it hot in this room again? I hate this time of year simply because I have to have the air conditioning on during the day. Dietrich, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing well.
Sucks. It really, really sucks.
Oh my god, it's 78 down here. Why is it 78? Dietrich, hope you're doing well. It's been raining for 6 days straight. We've had a little bit of rain where I am, but it's supposed to be getting up to 80 today. 80 to Celsius. 80 to Celsius. 80 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
27.
Yeah, it's supposed to be getting warm. I fixed my RX-7 AC this morning, so that's ice cold, so at least I won't be baking in the car. Trying to think. I will be parking in a parking garage, so it'll be in the shade. So that's good. Got a barge down there. Last days it's pretty hot here in the Netherlands. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I'm seeing about 12 Celsius outside. This is one of those super weird things, but this is the reason why in aviation you use feet for altitude, but Celsius for temperature. Pause music. Hold on one moment. Let's go underneath the wires. One of the weird phenomenon of this planet is for every 1,000 feet you go up, atmospheric temperature should drop exactly 2.5 Celsius. It's crazy as shit. So like, and it's like that all the way up to a certain point in the atmosphere, and then it gets warm again after that. But that's like 30+ thousand maybe higher than that, 40, 50,000 maybe, where the inversion happens. Alright, let's go underneath these wires too. I mean, I learned both. Didn't really use Celsius much until I got into aviation and then used it all the time. But alright, turn that camera back on. We have an airport somewhere in front of us. I think I see the airport right there, maybe. Or, no, might be that. I think it is that. Because you can kind of see on the symbol, the runway is kind of going at an angle like this. Yeah, that looks to be it. Zero's freezing point on Earth. That's the only catch. Celsius works on Earth. Hell, it even breaks on Earth if you, because 100 is not boiling point if you go into the mountains of Colorado, for example. It's one of those pressures and shit are weird. I don't think buildings are there in real life on a waterway. Some weird auto generation there. Hell, when I lived in Utah, we were at 6,000 feet, and you had to cook things at different temperatures. You had to do a bunch of weird shit because different pressure cap on my radiator, so because again, higher pressures, you can get water to boil at like 120 Celsius if the pressure's high enough. That's why like a lot of race cars are running those 25 and 36 PSI caps on them, because they purposely make the pressure in the system higher because it changes that boiling point. It's weird. But again, 6,000 feet because of less air pressure. I'm trying to remember what our water boiled at. I might... Actually, what am I at right now? I don't even know. Hold on. Quick Google search here. Yeah, Minneapolis is 830 feet. Like we're not that high off the ground, really, or off the sea level. Not here, at least. Let's see here. What? Water. Oil. Yeah, water boils at 6,000 feet at 94 Celsius. It's weird. 201 Fahrenheit. It's 212 for Fahrenheit for boiling. See, and this again is where one of those weird things. Like, I mean, it makes sense for 0-100. When it comes into automotive stuff, I'm used to letting the car warm up in Fahrenheit, and then my car runs at 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and I get warnings. Everything goes wild at 200 just because I'm close. But then again, the other problem is, well, not problem. My radiator system is pressurized, so technically, even though I have it throwing warnings at that, it doesn't actually boil till like 230 or something weird like that. It's weird. I mean, they all have their uses. Kelvin has its uses. I'm pretty sure there's other temperature scales out there. The one temperature scale that everyone hates, however, wind shear, or not wind shear, it feels like temperature calculation. That deals with the wind and all that bullshit and when it's cold. Because I've had times where it's like, oh, it's negative this, and then wind shear says it's something extreme. You're like, holy shit. Alright, let's get out of here. Volume 40, next track. The Protestant Church of Bears. What? Now I'm curious. Forgetting to switch back to Bush Talk Radio. Pause music. In fact, oh, okay, actually, I'm going to let this audio bit play, and then I've got a story because I made water boil at room temperature today. And I'll explain why. During the F1 race, Silverstone becomes some of the busiest airport in the world. I made water boil at room temperature today.
The Protestant Church of Bears, or St. Mary Church.
Oh, you had to play the music!
Building in Bears, Netherlands, one of the medieval churches in Friesland. The early Gothic nave was built in the 13th century, and the quintuple closed choir dates from the 14th century. Both are built out of yellow and red brick. In 1857, the original tower was replaced by a new one. The church is located on Sterkapel 3 and was once a Roman Catholic church dedicated to St. Mary, but became a Protestant church after the Protestant Reformation. It is listed as a Rijksmonument, number 8470, and is in the care of Stichting Oldie Vrijstjerken.
I have a friend who also streams, and they have some kind of thing where they can pause any of the alerts. I'm going to have to start doing that, because shit. You see my mouse. Why do you see my mouse? Hold on. You shouldn't see my mouse. Why are you seeing my mouse? Okay, good. You now see the mouse on the 3D, on the VR thing, not the one that's on the computer. That's weird. Okay, so yes, I boiled water at room temperature. When I say room temperature, it's probably about 60 degrees inside my garage. 60 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
16.
So yeah, this morning I changed out the compressor on my RX-7's air conditioning system. And one of the things you do is that if you do anything that cracks open the AC system and moist air is allowed to get into it, you need to connect the vacuum pump to it and let the vacuum pump for at least 45 minutes or so. And what that does is it lowers the pressure and it causes the water to boil off. So I did that this morning. So an example of water doesn't always boil at 100 degrees Celsius. I know it's cheating. I literally put it into an extreme vacuum, but that's how you do that kind of thing. I actually ran it for 2 hours. One, to make sure that the it boiled out. Two, I then let it sit for another hour. So essentially it was it sat for 3 hours under vacuum and it doesn't have any leaks in it, so that's good. Then I put all my new R134A into it, and the temperature coming out of the vent is now 44 Fahrenheit or 7 Celsius. It's nice and chilly. Okay, this is an interesting kind of village. I'm guessing everybody has access to like a waterway here. That's cool. A lot of boats and stuff. Next track. When you say 12 to 15 Fahrenheit delta, what do you mean? Whenever I use delta, I use it temperature change or whatever, but what do you mean by delta? Temp change? In relation to what? The air being pushed out of my AC or what? I want that shit to be as cold as possible because during the summer it does get quite warm here. Should be a 15 Fahrenheit difference between ambient and what's coming out of the vent. Oh! Nah, it's about a 30 degree difference. It's ice cold. My pressures are perfect. High and low side. What was that? No, Striker Wolf, that's for my car. That's my car. My house, I don't even have AC for my house. I have a heat pump. So, it moves the heat out of the house. It's just, during winter it moves heat in. It's weird. Cool that they do leave wakes. There probably shouldn't be a yacht in the middle of this pond, though. Yeah, I want that really good cold AC. So in the middle of summer, I can come to my car, turn the car on, crank the AC, set it on recirculation and just cool the inside off as quick as possible. What music? It is a Netherlands playlist since we're flying through the Netherlands today. I want to say that this song was on the UK top 50 playlist too, wasn't it? I wasn't the British one though, was in English, wasn't it? So they have different versions of it. That's kind of cool. We saw Thor the other day too. Don't know if that's the same one. Sorry, I don't know why. Probably because it's so dang warm in this room, and I'm waiting for the air to kick in. Oh yeah, okay, no. That yacht is not turning that fast. Little nav map always looks fun when I do that. Hey, there's another player in front of me. Holy shit. Another player's on Sim Update 2. In a 208 Grand Caravan. Nice. We have a 20 knot tailwind right now. Awesome. Who is it? This is Lady Gaga. I don't know what the previous track was. A lot of wind turbines here. Now I'm wondering, if we go up a little bit, can we catch a little bit more wind speed? Because oh yeah, they've got them all along this. I don't know why, like, it's not, they've got buildings here and it's supposed to be turbines. Then they got the ones on the coastline. That's so cool. Taking advantage of all that. All right. right about there is where I'm getting the strongest bit of wind. In real life, if I was flying over this, I would try to cross over there at the thinnest point. Your helicopter's not equipped with floats. It's, nah, you don't really want to fly over water if possible. Cyclone is actually heading my direction. So that's kind of cool. Wargamer, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Appreciate that. Are you guys hearing that alert now? Pause music. So yeah, I have no idea if this cyclone person is watching the stream right now, but I don't know. What I do know is that their distance is going down, so they are coming this direction. I don't know, we'll see. Might pass by them maybe. Pause music. Currently have a ground speed of about 160 knots. Got a VR headset? Nice. What do you think about it? See, they're only at 9,500. They're only 5 miles away. Still going a little bit faster than me. Alright, we do need to start coming down to land again. See, like, I wonder what this is here. This has got to be like another little neighborhood where everybody has access to the water. And then maybe... I don't know if something connects with the canal behind everything, maybe? I'm not seeing a connection to the canal. I don't know. That's good to hear, dude. All right. Yeah, Steam VR, Volume 10. Steam VR recently just had an update that apparently did a lot of compatibility upgrades with the Quest. So I don't know. I'm on it today, but I haven't really sat down and looked at the patch notes or whatever. I just saw that it had a bunch of compatibility stuff for Quest. I got the hiccups like crazy now. Hold on, is this a giant yin-yang on the ground? Is that what they try to do here? No. This looks like a driving thing. I mean, it's not a yin-yang on purpose. Looks like a skid pad. And or like a local racetrack or something. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I'm wondering if those smaller circles are actually banks. Like the Nürburgring carousel or something. Alright, let's I guess we'll land on that helipad. How are we doing on fuel? Just under 60%. Do have a tailwind right now. So we're going to come in and turn into the wind. Yeah, it does kind of look like a test track. I'll have to open my own damn stream here in a moment, because that's the only way. Ooh, I need to poke at Barry and ask him to do that. Alright, we're down. Let me turn the back to idle. Actually, I'm gonna poke at Barry right now, just so. Yeah, it doesn't. Bush Talk Radio doesn't have a landmark for whatever. Yeah, it might be a driving, advanced driving test thing. Now, that being said, in a moment, we're going to go to the other side of the runway, because there seems to be another track at the tail end of the runway. Let me open up my own stream. Mute my own voice. And flight sim track. Position. Topography with places. No. Huh. Am I misunderstanding? No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's not really showing anything. End my stream. Or not, no, don't end my stream, but end my... What VR do I use? I'm currently using a Quest 3. Alright, rolling back up. I have a very modified Quest 3. It's a Quest 3, but it's got a Vive Deluxe audio strap on it because I've got these 3D printed adapters that let the two of them connect. What is... does that damn audio thing again? Horn on. I'm really considering getting a big screen VR, but they're not really going to start shipping those until June, so it's like, pre-ordering wouldn't really get me anything. Go right through here. 50, 60, and up we go. Yeah, a lot of people are not exactly sure what it is because I have this cover on it. This cover comes clear, transparent clear, and I painted it so it makes that set look like it's all black. Also, it's a much better surface to stick the googly eyes on. Volume 40. Radio volume 20. Volume 40. Okay.
Diamond 371, Bravo Charlie, turn left, heading 270, contact departure. Left to 270, contacting departure, Diamond 371, Bravo Charlie.
Do a quick circle. Oh, they were using the C208 with floats. Interesting. Dittrick, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, Cyclone is now flying away from us, so they are not going to where we were. Oh, man. I don't know why. My shirt feels really uncomfortable today for some weird reason. When I get to the next airport, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I do it all the time in Elite, but I'm going to try to vocalize what I'm doing and why as I'm approaching the location. This leg has 27 miles. Volume 10. So here, I have a question. Something I'm noticing here in the Netherlands more than I have in France or the UK. A lot of the churches, the towers are like extra tall. Is that on purpose? Is it supposed to be one of those things that they build it extra tall so you can see it really, really far away or something? Volume 40. This is the song that I thought it was this song, but it was a different song, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. This song throws me for a loop every time.
Alpha Mike, cleared for touch and go, runway 27 traffic, departing ahead. Cleared for touch and go, runway 27, Skyhawk 505 Alpha Mike.
The problem is I don't even remember the original song. I only have the Star Wars version running through my head. That's the bad part. Just making sure, seeing what point of interest are around us. See, like, this makes me wonder. Just like, what is this? Looks too wide to be like vehicle trails, but actually no, you know what? We're flying over military base, that's what it is. I just realized all the terrain is super blurry. It's a military thing, it's military training. Never mind. The moment I realized that, I was like, oh, I know exactly what it is. We have the same thing in around Fort Bragg in North Carolina. I've never seen one of these before. The ones where they allow the animals to go over the highways. That's the first time I've ever seen one of those. Real life or in a sim. That's kind of neat. Yeah, we're still in the middle of this military base. Probably a big military training area. Looks like over here we have some farms, but all this sand area here looks all... This is probably where they would come in and do parachutist or something, practice. I don't know if maybe that's something the U.S. military uses for practice. I don't know. Is it possible to fly over North Korea? We'll be flying over North Korea when we get there, yes. Now that being said, like, it's not going to be... It's essentially satellite imagery, and that's it. And whatever auto-generated stuff it'll have, but... I don't know if it auto-generates lights and windows at nighttime, though. But yeah, it is possible. Same as you can fly through Area 51, which is one of the highest places where players tend to go. Especially those that want to screw around in like an F-22 or 35. Or some crazy, I don't know, air balloon with jet engines on it. I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing preventing you from flying over restricted locations in the sim at all. I think Volume 10, a lot of the satellite imagery of U.S. military bases is like, the satellite imagery is like 20 years old, so it's very much out of date. A lot of other military bases of other foreign powers, it seems like they're all blurred, because I'm pretty sure that's something that they message Google or Bing or whoever has a satellite thing and says, yeah, please blur out these areas or something. I mean, hell, you can go to Google and you can message them and you can have your house blurred on Street View if you wanted. Where is this runway? Right there. So yeah, we're coming up to Delin Air Base. Pause music. Radio 25. Delin Air Base, helicopter uniform Echo Echo, inbound for a touch and go. We'll be departing to the northeast afterward.
Helicopter Sierra Quebec, uniform Echo Echo, Delin Tower, runway 1, left circuits approved. Report downwind each time. After touch and go, proceed northeast. Helicopter Sierra Quebec, uniform Echo Echo, Delin Tower, runway 01, cleared for touch and go.
Cleared for touch and go, uniform Echo Echo. Boop. Didn't know I can do what? The radio call? That's part of an add-on that I have. It's called Say Intentions. It is an AI ATC thing. Delin helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Have done touch and go and departing to the northeast. Thank you. Oh, blur your house from Google Maps? Yeah, you can contact them. If you can prove that that is where you live, they'll blur it.
Helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Proceed northeast. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too, helicopter uniform Echo Echo. The cool part is sometimes you get conversation
helicopter
back.
Uniform Echo Echo. You're welcome. Safe travels.
That's so cool. ATC will do that too. If you're nice to them, they'll be nice back. Let's do a quick check on our supposed passenger. Can you tell me about what's outside? I hit the wrong button. Can you tell me about what's outside? I don't know if it's going to work or not. Maybe not. Oh, that's right, I turned it off. It's not gonna work. Dang it. Yeah, Say Intentions has an option where you can put like a passenger in the aircraft and you can give it like a personality so it'll respond to you, but I turned it off because it was talking over some of the other things and there's no way to stop it. Alright, so the problem that we have now is now we're flying directly into the wind. And we're just over 50% fuel. Time?
11:23.
It's almost 6:25 in the Netherlands right now. I don't know what time the sun sets. Around 8-ish. The problem that we have here is that we do have a lot more clouds. That's going to kind of make things darker in advance. Next track. Next track. Volume 40. Radio volume 15.
Maintaining current heading, awaiting further instructions. Citation 433 Mike Whiskey.
Alright. Pause music. Alright, so I have the airport in sight. There's the kind of runway right there. I'm kind of lining up so I can turn and go into it. The wind is going to be coming at us, so it will be a crosswind as we approach. As we get closer, I just start to, because forward and backwards is your speed, right? Without changing my speed, I lower the collective, and that starts our descent. We're still maintaining the same speed. Now I'm going to start pulling back while still lowering, because tipping back, you have a higher angle of attack, which produces more lift. If you don't lower the collective even more, you'll actually gain altitude when doing that. We're going to slow to about 70 knots. I'm going to use a bug splat on my window to line up. We're about 70. And I'm going to use that bug splat right there to aim for the end of that white line and kind of come in. As we are slowing down, you got to add more and more collective, because as you slow down, the rotor becomes less efficient, so you need to add more lift. So when you get it, you should end in a ground effect, right? In fact, we're bobbing back up again, which we shouldn't be doing. Unless the wind direction changed or had a wind gust. We're in ground effect right now. What is going on with the wind? So, in ground effect, like, you don't need a lot of collective input, right? The problem now is that because the wind is coming from this side, if I go like this, now I'm going down. But if I do this, see how now I'm climbing? It's because technically, because we have that wind coming this way, by me tipping the helicopter over like this, I just went a much higher angle of attack. So there is things like that that you have to be aware of. And if you're wanting to, like, stay really close to the ground and have no weirdness going on, you do have to be making little tiny movements on the collective to maintain that height. Another thing too is, like, I don't think you guys realize how little I'm moving the cyclic. Like, when I'm sitting here, right? If I do that, like, that's a lot of input. You can see what it's doing to the helicopter, right? Making very, very, very small cyclic changes. The biggest problem that I've seen with people trying to fly helicopter for the first time is they're like, big control input, and they're like, I can't control this thing, and the next thing you know, they're swinging every which way and all that kind of shit. They're like, I hate flying this aircraft and everything's going to shit, and that's how they fly. And it's like, no, little tiny control movements. You don't want to upset the aircraft. It's always little tiny control motions. And see, like right now, I've got a tailwind. So the wind is, see right there, ooh. Sitting on that verge, the wind is trying to spin my helicopter around right now. So this is what you'll hear people refer to as dancing on the pedals. In fact, here, let me actually do this. This might be a little bit better explanation here. Where are you? There you are. So the helicopter's trying to turn into the wind, and if I'm right there on the verge, right? If I go one direction, now the wind's trying to turn me to the left. But the moment I go over here, now the wind's trying to turn me to the right. So when you have that point where the weather veining effect switches over, you got to be really careful on the pedals. Dunpeel, what do you mean? What you didn't know what happened the last 30 minutes? What happened? I don't know either. You're gonna have to tell me. Pause music. Dude, the big thing with that, okay, whenever you win money from that kind of thing, be very careful, because so much of the time, casinos tend to be favoring the house, not the player.
Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2 cleared for takeoff.
Be very careful with that. That's all I can say.
Cleared for takeoff runway 29, Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2.
I would personally take a larger part of that and put it into savings if possible. But yeah, definitely take some of it and set it aside for sure. Tetracker, right? I've recently been just taking a little bit of my whatever's left over at the end of the month and putting it into a savings account myself recently. Volume 40. I didn't start. Oh, I just realized I didn't ever started the. I didn't start the map thing. Map enhancement. Yeah, like, my biggest concern with online gambling is just the whole, they let you win when they want to keep people coming back. So, you just gotta be really careful with that. Well, Dunpill, I would, again, this is just my financial advice. Set some aside that you never touch to keep it always in the positive. Like, overdraft fees are a bitch.
Runway 30.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 30. Beechcraft 9001 Bravo.
I think the last time I updated my phone was 2018. I've not had a reason to upgrade my phone since. I mean, for what I use on my phone, if I'm like, you know, I use it for like scheduling. Of course, I use it as a phone. If I'm away from the house, I check my social media stuff. I mean, I don't. And then, of course, pictures. All right. Where is this airport? Oh no, it's a lot further out. Never mind. I thought I was looking for something closer to me. I just realized I never did this. I never sent it to the avionics. Whoops. Well, that's fixed. I hope at some point they add in something to this that I can have these screens be a little bit more high res. Because for some reason they're always low res with DLSS. Oh, where's this airport? I think I see it. Right there, maybe. I see the windsock right there. So this looks to be a grass strip. Volume 10. So yeah, because I'm
Mike, enter left downwind, expect short approach.
radio volume 5.
Left downwind, expecting short.
Because I am a disabled veteran, I get paid on the 1st of every month. So the way that I do... Uh-oh. Nambrock, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure what's supposed to be the actual runway. I think it's just this field that the gliders land at. The area on the far side looks like it's mowed a little bit more. I don't know. This is weird. Nambrock, thank you again for the resub, dude. Hope you're doing well today. And boop. But yeah, the way, okay, so again, because I receive my paycheck essentially on the first of the month, I have a mortgage, I have power, I have internet bills, I have my phone bill, I have Netflix, all that kind of stuff. I've tried to do everything I can to take all of my monthly fees, throw them into a Google Doc, right? Keep track of everything. How much I have drastically changes from winter to summer as well. In the summer, power bill can be $100. During the winter, highest I've ever seen is $700. It's pretty insane here. Yeah, it sucks. So I try to average that out through the year. I try to set money aside during the summer, so come around winter time I have enough to pay that crazy power bill. But at the same time, because I have a list of everything, Striker Wolf, right? I still think that there's the power company doing something dumb with my stuff. In fact, here, let me quickly talk about that. Pull up an old image from when I moved in. Let me show you this. It is insane. Pause music. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain to you guys, okay? So here's where it's weird. Where I live, the power company has a thing that they refer to as dual fuel, okay? A lot of people around me, they have electric cooling for summertime, and then during the wintertime they have a electric heater, but when the power company does essentially they call it load shedding, they turn areas off to not stress the power grid, okay? Radio volume 0. So when that happens, my dual fuel is also electric. The way mine works is that I have to have advance notice that they're going to turn the power off. And then my dual fuel is literally something called a storage heater. It is a metal box. It has a bunch of ceramic brick inside of it, and then a bunch of heating coils. And what happens is that when they do this load shedding thing, I am without heat for about 8 hours at most, okay? A lot of people around me, they just turn on their gas heat, no big deal, but they have to refill the gas thing every year, all that kind of stuff. Me, I have to know it in advance, turn it on, it gets the ceramic brick really hot, and then for those 8 hours, all the heat in my house is coming from that. It is just releasing the heat into the air. When I moved in January 2021, I thought it was crazy because my power bill was extreme, okay? My very first month that I lived here, it was like $500. I was like, what the fuck? That should not be happening. Because of this dual fuel thing, my heating and cooling is on a different rate, money per kilowatt hour used than the rest of the power in my house, okay? I believe the rest of the power in my house is like 0.14 cents, while the heat is 0.10, right? So my heating, my air conditioning and stuff is actually less per kilowatt hour than the rest of my house. What I found out is that I have 2 meters attached to the side of my house. The way it works is that all the power goes to the first meter. And then the power then splits, and then only the heat goes to the second meter. Okay? What is supposed to happen is they take the units, let's say 1,000 kilowatt hours total use, and 500 of it is heat. They're supposed to take that 1,000 that the first meter says and minus the other one. What they were doing is they were doing the 1,000 plus the 500, and I was paying like 150%. It was absolute trash. To the point where, because I have this thing that tracks my power use, I raised such a big fuss about this that they literally came over and they changed my meters. Okay? When they changed my meters, hey, guess what? When they entered the new meter information into my thing, suddenly my payments were right. This is what it looked like. See my power use before and after? Look how insane that is. Right? Yeah. What if, let's say, they don't tell me they're switching me 1 year? When you say my setup, it just turns my heat off, Dunpeel. That's it. Did I get a partial refund? No. Because that was one of those things of they investigated themselves and they found no wrongdoing, is what essentially happened. Because all of this stuff, you can get that data in spreadsheet format. I went through the entire thing and I was like, you literally doubled mine every single time. And even with all the evidence, I went to the Minnesota, the people that are supposed to legally take care of it, and they're like, oh, we can't do anything. It's bullshit. I probably lost about $3,000 on that alone. Fucking bullshit. Had to deal with that for like 8 months. Oh yeah, it's completely shit. And that's the reason why I've had like this absolute hatred to this power company. Dunpeel, sadly, I cannot switch. They're the only one that supplies this area. It is complete and utter shit. I would like to get gas heat and then do the gas heater into the central air, which would be really nice. But, again, adding something like that costs a lot of money, and I don't have enough money to do that. So, yeah, it's kind of shitty. Yeah, it sucks. Like, the whole... Like, it's one of those deals of, like, I wish that there was more competition, because competition would drive the cost down and shit, but, It's absolute crap. Okay, let's see here. But yeah, that's my rant about my power company and how shitty it is. I like it that we're getting into warmer weather because now my my power bill goes down. It's nice. But yeah, going back to what I was talking about, I put all my finances into a spreadsheet and I figure out, oh, this is how much I will be paying this month. I set aside extra in case there's any like weird thing like, oh, I'm having to pay more this month for power or something like that. I try to account for, I have like a fudge factor built in, right? And then like I'll watch what I do every month, like grocery store runs, right? I record how much that is, try to, you know, get cheaper food, stuff like that. Change what I'm getting. Do I really need this generic splurge food? Is it a want or is it a need, essentially? Try to get all your needs first, and then after that, then you start focusing to the whole, I want to get this thing, and then it's like, I want to get it, let me wait a month, and at the end of the month, do I still want it, or is it one of those things I can live without kind of thing, and I go from there. And of course, the damn ads are playing. Dunfield, I don't think it would make it over here in time, though. That's the problem. The other good thing about having the disability pay is that I do receive essentially a pay raise every year that is determinant on whatever the interest rate being raised is. I tell you, that's the one thing that I really enjoyed when I was both in the Netherlands and the UK, though, is the whole being able to walk to the shop kind of stuff was nice. I have been considering getting a electric bike with like one of those little trailers and go to the grocery store and get stuff like that. It'd be one of those, I'd have the electric part primarily, like I'd be pedaling it 99% of the time. I would just be using the electric part for like assistance going up a hill, or when I get so damn tired I just ride home on the electric part. Because that's my problem, is that I'll exercise and I'll completely pass the halfway point and keep going, and then when I'm heading back, I'm like, that was a mistake. And then by the time I get done, I'm like, I just messed everything up on my legs and my thighs and all that shit. I do. Once I can get this back surgery done, I'm going to be trying to do a lot more physical things out in the garage as well. Within a kilometer, there are 4 grocery stores, as far as you know. I think I have to drive 3 miles to the closest one. And again, when I go grocery shopping, load the car up for like the week. So like today, for example, I've got a medical appointment, right? I have to drive 60 miles to this medical appointment. That's the reason why I got my AC working today, because it's going to be warm. We'll be baking underneath the afternoon sun. I'm not walking to that appointment. That's way too far away. And that's the closest one to me. I think the one after that is 140 miles away, which I have to go to that one once a year. Again, I'm glad I have AC. Or I have AC in my car now, at least. I drive about 50 miles every... Oh, no, I'm sorry. 50 miles one way every week to go see my grandmother. Like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's a short drive for me. Yeah, like, when I was in the Air Force, oh my God. When I lived in North Carolina at Pope Air Force Base, my drive to and from work was 15 minutes. My drive when I moved to Utah to Hill Air Force Base was 5 minutes. And that actually kind of sucked, having a really short drive like that, because your brain didn't have enough time to like switch off of work mode. And you just be stressed by the time you get home. And then, of course, supervision finds out that you live so close. So, of course, they call you in to go work on something because, hey, you're close. You can get this thing done real quick. It's like, come on. So I made sure when I went to Japan, I chose a place that was a little bit of a drive from the base. And yeah, like the area I live in, it's got the nice twisty roads. It's nice. Actually, you know what? Hold on a minute. You guys are going to make me find a thing. One moment. Oh my God. I have to go onto Facebook for this. Holy shit. Is there a way to see posts I made on a group by chance? Oh, see my group activity. Sweet. Okay, hold on one moment. Ooh, yes. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, hold on a minute. Okay, so that was just my noon alarm. Okay, so I will link this in a moment, but I want to show you guys this website. Okay, so this website is roadcurvature.com/map. So here, hold on. Don't dox myself. Why do you think I'm not showing it on the screen right now? See, I always check, make sure that the thing isn't like putting where I live or anything like that. Okay, so this website is a website that uses essentially Google Maps. And what it does is that it uses an algorithm to figure out where the twistiest roads are. So when you zoom in, it looks at yellow is moderately twisty, and it goes to this pinkish color. Okay? So, like, all these roads through, I think we're in Germany right now. Nice twisty roads, right? And you can, just by looking at that, you can kind of be like, okay, yeah, I know where the mountains and rougher terrain is in Europe, right? You look at, like, Wales. Of course, you're going to have a lot more twisty roads in that area of Wales because they've got a lot more mountains and hills and stuff like that, right? Like, this entire area going down the middle of Italy. Holy shit. But yeah, this is like literally around the world. Like, isn't this that area in India that has those roads that you just fall off a cliff or something? I am so sorry, car enthusiasts that live in Australia. You've got some down there. Damn, I didn't realize it was that flat there. Peru? Peru is... Hold on. Peru's down here. Well, maybe it's both India and Peru. Or Chile. I don't know. Fun fact. The roads that go down this way, there's like a 10-mile gap where there's no road at all right here. Because this entire area, it rains so much and the ground changes shape, you can't build a road because it just falls apart. They've tried multiple times and the roads just fall apart. It's crazy. And then, okay, hold on. We're going to do this real quick. Have you guys ever heard of Tail of the Dragon? It is a pretty famous road in, it goes between North Carolina and Tennessee. It's 11 miles long, and I think it has 311 turns. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if this is it. This might be it. I don't remember. 20 mile. That might just be a different one. But yeah, it's really cool website though. If you are a car enthusiast that likes driving on twisty roads, it is definitely a really good website to bookmark, which I need to do right now. Car stuff done. Did I see that Oblivion got a full 6 degree of freedom mod support, at least in alpha state? I'm aware that they've been doing a lot of stuff, Cool Dog. However, I am waiting until they are done before I jump back into that game again. It will definitely be cool, but they're pushing out an update. It seems 3 to 4 times a day. And it requires a bunch of changing of stuff that I just don't have the time to do. So I'm going to wait until they're done, it's stabilized, and it's ready to go before I really mess with it, to be honest. But we'll probably do a VR run in the future. I'll continue to be a stealth archer unless they get really good mage spell casting or something. Next track. Volume 40. Buy a new VR headset. Again, dude, file things into wants and needs. A new VR headset is a want. Be very careful with just spending money since you have it. Like, you don't want to go back into the negative again, dude. Just be very careful with that. I mean, the big deal is it's your money, you do what you want with it, but I'm just saying. It's usually recommended to people to have like a 3-month... Have the amount of money that you... Pause music. Have the amount of money that you would make in 3 months stored and set aside for emergencies, essentially. Like, if you got fired from your job and needed to go, like, a month while you look for another one, you know, that kind of thing. I know it's kind of hard to do that for some people, Like, it's hard for me, for example, but I don't know. It's one of those things. Just all I'm saying, dude, just be careful. Pause music. Volume 10. I don't know if your bank has, my bank has a thing. I have like 2 bank accounts, and one bank account is simply just sitting there with a bunch of money sitting in it, that if the money overdrafts in the first one, it pulls from the other one. I don't know if that's something that you could set up, and that way you just set a buffer in there and then it does that, or if your bank has some kind of overdraft fee protection. But yeah, I've gotten enough where the way that I have my accounts is weird. I have all the money that I'm saving in one, and then I have essentially this money is for this month. I get paid on the first, and I don't touch anything in the first account. Any extra stuff I pay for straight out of the second account, essentially. And that way, at the end of the month, whatever's left over then gets moved into it. So I always have, like, the moment the next month's paycheck gets submitted and the money shows up in the account, I take whatever the ending value of that is and move it over. That's how I do mine, at least. Again, everyone's going to have their own different method of doing it, but I make sure that I have that amount in there so all my bills and stuff get paid. Right now, the big thing that's taking all my money is the Miata, which literally had to make a larger payment the other day for 2 more parts that are no longer manufactured, so of course they're going to be even more expensive. Should hopefully get those later this week, and then we can button up the engine and then start putting everything else back together, which I'll have to put the air conditioning back on it too, and then I can like actually stream that one and show you guys how that works with the vacuum pump and stuff. The hour of waiting for the vacuum pump to run, we'll be doing other stuff, I think. It's not that loud. That's the cool thing, is it's a really quiet vacuum pump. Works really, really well. My entire AC system, I'm going to be replacing all the O-rings in it, because all the O-rings that are in it right now are all from 1997. So they're a bit old. Put some brand new stuff in it. I don't remember if 97 was before or after they got rid of the R12. Car might actually be a R134 car. I think it might be. So, I mean, again, the last time I ran the AC in the Miata, the air was coming out 35 Fahrenheit. 35 Fahrenheit to Celsius?
2.
All I know is I was getting frost forming on the window when I lived in Utah. That should kind of be like a what kind of thing. I was getting frost forming on the windscreen because I had it in defrost mode. It was just blowing cold air on the defrost on the window. It was insane. It's got a very it has a better AC than my RX-7 does. So much better. Alright, looking for our airstrip. A few miles away still. So, that first alarm that went off at 12 was my warning. You're getting close. When the next alarm goes off, we need to stop because I've got, I have to get to this appointment. That'll give me an hour and a half to get ready and for the about an hour drive to get there. So, yeah. I'm really not looking forward to today's appointment. They need to stick a camera down my throat while I'm awake. So they're going to be numbing my entire esophagus, I guess. I'm really not looking forward to it. Which, shit. Okay, yeah, no. Not drinking any more soda. I need to probably go get a big glass of water to keep my stomach full. If I throw up, it's just going to be water. It's not going to be soda. Hope I don't throw up. Alright, where is this airstrip? In real life, you would see the blinking beacon on top of the thing, but for some reason the lights in 2024 are not... The lights don't seem to work during the day. Ooh, Ted Striker, yeah. I'm guessing that's the airfield right there. Actually, no. Airfield is that little bit right there. I can see the windsock just spawned. I was looking at the complete wrong area. A little tiny airfield. Could not eat or drink anything. That's why I'm gonna make sure I get some water in me before I can't. I've got Final Fantasy XIV Savage tonight, so I might do another stream when I get home. So just expect that. Nice quick stop. Okay, continuing on. We are at just below 40% fuel. So we are fine for now. Volume 40. I see wires. We're gonna go up and over. See, I've got that one add-on that adds the power stations too, which is really nice. That just popped into view. Lot of wind turbines over there. I don't know if it's just me, but I think wind turbines look cool as shit. Especially when you have a bunch of them all together. They might be out of sync in rotation, but they look cool. Freak or Wipeout? They are a bit imposing, yeah. Alright, this leg is 39 miles. Trying to go a little bit lower. Ground friction slows the wind speed, so it's not as much. The wind is kind of coming in at an angle like this right now. So a little bit of a headwind, but mostly crosswind. In Austria, 70% of the power is now windmills. That's cool. I wish that they did more research on... I mean, they're having all those breakthroughs with fusion. Volume 10. Didn't they recently have a reactor that output more energy than it required to run it? And then they have another reactor that... I think they ran it for like 28 minutes or something like that. Something crazy. But... a lot of those reactors are like, they're smaller for a lot of research purposes. Once they kind of like figure it all out and everything like that, and they start making like a purpose-made reactor that's designed to harness that heat energy and transfer it to steam, because everything is always steam power in the end. Yeah, be a lot better, but yeah. It sucks that they, in the 70s or whatever, they stopped doing research on molten salt reactors. Those would have been like the safest. The nuclear fuel's like in molten salt. And the crazy thing with those reactors is that the way they're designed is that if it gets too hot, the plug that holds the molten salt, it was like purposely made out of a material that if it reached a certain temperature, it happened before anything went critical, that plug would literally melt, and then the molten salt would just drain out and the reactor would just turn itself off. Like, it was like a physical thing to prevent meltdowns, essentially. I know a lot of nuclear reactors, they've got all this stuff in it that supposed to have, you know, all these safeguards and everything, but many times we see that some of those don't really work the way they're expected. The other nice thing about molten salt reactors is that it can take a lot of what is the toxic waste of the other reactors and use it. And the byproduct that it has after using that is inert. But of course, I think the US stopped doing development on them in the 70s. And I think right now only China is doing... they're the only ones like with running ones. I think there might be one running one in Connecticut, but it's like a tiny thing that, what is it called? It's ran by a university or something. I might be wrong with that. Might be thinking of something else. Yeah, research reactor. I thought it was cool as hell. We flew over that one reactor, which kind of, I didn't ever think about that. But the radioactive isotopes that is used in medical stuff, it has to come from somewhere, right? And there was that one location as we were flying over I can't remember if we were in the Netherlands or Germany when we flew over it, but that's what the entire purpose of that one reactor was. Like, that reactor wasn't making power. It was there to do the thing to make the medical stuff. Because, like, I know, because I've had so many CT and PET scans and all this crazy shit. I've had to drink radioactive stuff that was delivered to the hospital that morning so I could do the appointment, because if it got delayed by like a few hours, it was no longer, you couldn't use it anymore. Like, it has such a short half-life kind of thing. Toxic radiation comes from your family too. Okay. I don't have a comeback for that at all. But, I'm sorry, Ted Stryker. I've now gone blank on what I was talking about. But yeah, that kind of medical stuff, like, you don't really think about it. Like, where does it come from? And I'm now trying to think, like, they've got to have multiple of those kind of reactors around the U.S. to be able to supply all the hospitals and stuff in essentially a circle around them, right? Because if it goes bad after being out for, say, 36 hours, like some of the stuff that I had, that's no good. They've got to have it where they can make new stuff and everything. Volume 40. Had one at Purdue, yeah. I remember hearing about that one, too. Next track. A little bit of a tower here. Yeah, Ted Strike. Well, I know the people that did the uranium shell casings or whatever. You're not supposed to drink directly out of them. Some of them, they took them into a glass blower and they had them blow a glass around the spent casing. So the spent casing ended up inside the glass. So no, you should not drink directly out of an old A10 shell casing, though. Volume 10. But, like, pause music. I was gonna say something, but since you did that. the helicopter dance too, right? Just absolutely throw the rotor system for a loop doing that. What was I gonna say now? Shit. I forgot what I was gonna talk about. It's gone now. I was gonna say something and now I forgot. Alright, it is about 7:30 local time.
12:28.
Okay. When I get to the next airfield, I'm going to have to check and see how far the next one is, because we're either stopping at the next airfield or going to the next one, because I do need to start getting ready for this appointment and everything. MK, good morning. What am I talking about? Good afternoon. How are you doing today? I'm trying to remember what I was going to talk about. We were just talking about drinking out of old shell cases. Then I said something about glass blowing. I have completely forgotten what my brain was thinking about. Someone might need to check the map. Am I about to cross back over into Germany, or am I still in the Netherlands? I see a line, but little nav map doesn't really show where the country lines are, sadly. Yeah, we were talking about uranium, but I don't remember what I'm just trying to like kickstart my head into what I was about to discuss, and now I've completely forgotten. Yeah, I don't remember. Alright, we are about 30% fuel. Tasty radiological drink I needed down. No, I don't remember it being anything about radiation stuff, though. That's the catch. I think I was done with that topic and I was moving to something else, but just completely got sidetracked by the song. Talking about that radiological drink, oh my god. When I was at Pope Air Force Base, when I had all of my cancer stuff essentially, the CT scan that they had me drink this shake, this radiological shake or whatever, so they could get they called it contrast. And they did it where it would fill up my intestines, and then that way they could see whatever on the scan better or something like that. My body would absorb it, it would go through my bloodstream, and then things would like the cancer things would be highlighted because the cancer would be doing something. I don't know. Yeah, barium or something like that. It was the most disgusting shit I've ever had to drink in my life. Like, think about... Okay, I'm trying to try to... Do you guys know the taste you get? Okay? The taste your tongue tastes when you put your tongue on a 9-volt battery, right? It tastes sour, right? It tastes sour and salty at the same time. That mixed in with grape, strawberry, or banana. Hope they never give you the grape. It is disgusting. That's bad satellite imagery there. Or, actually that one, to be honest, that might be a military base. Maybe that's why they did that. They purposely blurred the area. Now that being said, oh no, it's not sour grape. It's disgusting grape. Take grape, okay? But then pour flour on it. So it's that dry, chalky taste. That's what it was. And then you're forced to down it all, because if you don't down it all, it won't, the CT scan won't work. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting drink. Now, however, my first time going to a off-base site, a civilian hospital, the drink they gave me tasted like Kool-Aid. It was literally a fruit juice. It was great. I was like, I will take this every day of the week. It was amazing. But the military one was the most disgusting shit. Oh my god. It was just... ugh. Like, I did that... I had to take that stuff in 2006. Okay? I can still remember that taste. It is disgusting. If they give you a choice, always ask for strawberry. Grape was absolutely horrible. Strawberry I could get down without gagging. Banana, way too strong. Like, they put so much banana flavor in it, you were tasting banana for like the next 3 hours. It was horrible. Like, they put all this stuff in it to mask it. Mask the taste. Gin and juice? No. Go get yourself a glass of water, fill it with flour, and then drink that. That's what you had. That's... Throw a Jolly Rancher into it. There's essentially what it tastes like. It was disgusting. It was the... just absolute... Make sure it's mostly water. It can't be mostly... Like, you're not making dough. A little bit of flour so it's chalky. No, it's... No, Ted's record. It's disgusting. Pour a bunch of salt in it, too, then. Like, this was the most disgusting tasting concoction. I don't know. It was horrible. But again, the one that I got from the civilian doctor... It was like super sweet. It was like you could see through it. The other thing was like thick, like a shake, literally. While the other stuff was like essentially a Kool-Aid, just flavored water and sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. The thing is now is every time that I've gone in for a CT scan, I haven't for many years had to drink anything. Now they just do a iodine injection, and then 1, you feel really warm, and 2, you feel like you're peeing yourself. You're not really, but that's what it feels like. That's also a weird feeling. Yeah, that's another thing that's just really weird too. My first day at boot camp, okay? They went to go draw blood, and I passed out. Just, they stuck the needle in, I watched the needle enter my flesh, boom, I was out. I woke up on the floor with several TIs standing over me. Oh my god. Yeah. Ooh, ow, Ted Striker, that sucks. I had that one time when I had my big surgery where they cut me open. I have like an 18-inch cut across my stomach here. They put a morphine drip in my right arm, and at some point, because I was in the hospital overnight for like a full week, but at some point that morphine drip, I had done like that and fell asleep. And the problem with doing that is that you bent your arm right here, and the morphine drip was going into the vein that goes there, and by me doing that, it cut it off. My forearm was like super huge. And when they realized that, they straightened my arm out, and oh my god, my entire body went numb after that. Holy shit. A liquid flap in your right arm for a day or two, that sucks. I've had small ones like that, but not anything that big. Other than my entire arm swelling up. Like it wasn't infiltrating, it just, I pinched off the vessel, the vein is return artery supply. I pinched off the vein that it was supposed to flow to the rest of my body, and because of that, it didn't have anywhere to go. And I was hooked up to so many tubes and shit, I pinched something, and yeah, it was weird. That was the surgery that they stuck the tube down my nose, and it broke my septum and all that shit, and everything went wrong after that too, and meh. Time?
12:40.
Okay, yeah. This is where we're gonna stop for the night. I've got to get ready in real life about a appointment. Look at the squares loading in as we come in. That's weird. Everything's turning green. What is this? Atlas Air Service? Okay. I don't think I've ever seen buildings with these on it. Hold on. Again? Wait, where are we? Atlas... Wait, no, this is a custom airport. That's why it looks higher detailed, because it is. Okay. Interesting. Boop. What the hell just happened there? Hold collective and it just dropped out of the sky. I've been having that multiple times today. Where I just pull collective and the aircraft just keeps going down. No matter how much I pull. Alright, we're gonna park over here. Touch the skid, please. And lower collective and all the way down. Rolling off, horn off. Whoa. Don't want to eat the microphone. They said gonna have a warming sensation like I was peeing, me being the smartass while they were doing it to see if I really did have a potential aneurysm. Asked that I didn't have the peeing sensation, if I could simulate it by peeing. Yeah. Alright, and safety cover up, engine off. Oh, shoot. And now we can pull the rotor brake. Usually it's just general practice. Until the rotor is completely stopped, you are still technically flying the aircraft, especially in bad weather. Wind gusts could come along, get underneath the blades and lift the helicopter up, so you still want to be flying the aircraft. So, yeah. Alright, there we go. Battery off. There we go. Cool. And this is where we will pick up next stream. Let me take a look real quick. Let me get a little nav map up so I can show you guys what we flew today. Alright, so this is what we flew today. We started at this location right here, and we flew this entire section and then back. You can kind of see the route kind of goes all over, and you can also see that several of these are really long legs here. But as we get further into this area, we will the legs between airports will shorten. See, 8, 9, 9, 7, or 18, 9, 16, 9. Yeah, we'll be going back and forth a bit. But this is kind of like filling in this area. Then we get back out here, and then we go and do it again this way, and then we kind of just fill in this area as we make our way to the center point of Europe. And then we will then shift up again and then go back out. So it's kind of involved, but this is the route that we're doing to make sure we get everything. In fact, let's actually hit F7. So we actually got, yeah, we got 16 locations down today. And now I can come in and actually delete these. So the next time I fly, my route starts at Atlas Airfield. Cool. So this flight plan as it stands right now is 665 nautical miles, and it says to do this, it would take 5 hours, 42 minutes. If that was no stopping, that's just hitting the points. Because we stop everywhere and we also deviate and look at cool shit, that's why that 5-hour flight will probably be split between 2 different days or something. Possibly 3, depending on how bad the weather is, or if I'm not feeling good when streaming or something. I don't know. Yeah, so we're gonna end flight. Let me take a look and see who is live on the Twitch. Find somebody I'm following. Again, just a reminder, I am going to try to go live again later tonight with my Final Fantasy stream. I need to actually get on a little bit earlier. It's all going to depend on when I get home from my appointment. But, or if I'm feeling like absolute crap after the thing, I won't stream at all. So I don't know. It's one of those things. Well, right now I think I'm in the Netherlands, aren't I? Hold on. Gotta reopen little nav map. ED is Germany. Okay, so I think I'm right on that. I'm kind of crossing back and forth a few times. A lot of that route is going to be going back into the Netherlands, as you can kind of see. So we're at ED right now, but at some point, yeah, we will get back into ET, ED, ET. So yeah, we're kind of bouncing all over. In fact, see, this is the one thing I don't like about Little Nav Map is that it's really, really difficult to see the country lines. I think I've actually had a little bit better luck looking at Bush Talk Radio. Yeah, Bush Talk Radio. Let's see here. Bush Talk Radio does this, where they've got the country line really thick and visible. So yeah, it looks like we're in Germany for a bit here, because that's the border between Germany and the Netherlands, right? Yeah. I have a friend that actually lives in that part of the Netherlands, which is kind of cool, because we haven't gotten there yet. We will be going there. And that area down there is one of the ways that I'm like, oh yeah, that's the Netherlands, because I can identify it. But guys, I think that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all very much for hanging out. I'm going to send you all over to go watch Sacriel. He's currently playing a bit of Arma Reforger. If you are watching on YouTube, the stream is going to be ending here shortly. There is no rating function on YouTube right now. So with that, guys, again, thank you all for hanging out. I will see you all later. And with that, take care. Later, guys.